miss any of the questions that we ask or the questions that other people ask and then we answer, that'll be put up on the YouTube. Oh, don't be stressed out. Okay. So you guys can go ahead and start typing some questions if you have any of them. But to get started, I'm going to kind of go over the dev post page and we'll walk through that. And if you have any questions, um, yeah, we'll also go over any questions about the dev post specifically. We'll go through the tracks, we'll go through the prizes, how it works to be on a team, things like that. Okay, I already see a couple questions in the chat. Okay. Somebody asked, how can I participate in the hackathon? I got an email saying it starts in 30 minutes. Yeah, so that was sent out 30 minutes ago. As you're watching this, you are allowed to go ahead and start building your projects now. You participate by turning in a submission, and the rules for submitting projects are on the DevPost website. Okay, and then there's another question. Since the hackathon is officially started, should I add my teammates in DevPost? You do not add them on DevPost. Oh, it's Michelle. Hello. Yeah, you don't add your teammates on DevPost. You just make sure you specify who your teammates are in your project submission. And then once you turn that in, we'll make sure to check who's on your team. So you don't send them an invite through DevPost directly. Yes, you can go for multiple prizes and tracks. Just make sure you meet all of the criteria for each of the prizes you go through. Okay. Can you go into more detail on the judging process, especially like on the best documentation one? Okay, so for best documentation, basically what that means is how well does your documentation explain your project? Can someone understand your project uh, without actually looking at the code? If they were to look at the project in a website browser with no idea at all about what your project was, would your documentation be able to explain it? Um, okay, what else? Didn't get an email. Make sure you're signed up. You should have gotten an email from DevPost today with a reminder that the hackathon was starting if you were registered. The MIT license right for submissions, or is something else preferable? I'm not exactly sure what that means. You might have to elaborate on that question a little bit.
I can help with that. I think that's like what do you call this thing? The creative rights license, like the license that you can put on it to show people whether they can reuse your project or not reuse your project. MIT is good. We personally don't mind, so it's up to you. And you can totally research what the different licenses entail and pick whichever one you want, but we don't mind at all.
Okay. What about the other prizes? So I'll go ahead and talk about the prizes once I start streaming the dev post page. Someone's asking if the deadline is strict. What if we're late by a few minutes? I think we're going to be strict on the deadline for this one. Unless, well, actually, I don't think we're making any exceptions this time. It's 48 hours, so hopefully 48 hours is enough. Okay, should I submit project links of YouTube and Google Drive? Um, I believe there's a criteria for submitting the video project links. If they don't fit, I believe we're allowing people to email their video submissions. Is that correct?
I think I missed that. If they don't fit in the drive,
Or like how are they doing the project submission videos? Is it YouTube or Google Drive links?
yeah, you can put it in a Google Drive link. I would also recommend YouTube because if you put it in a Google Drive link, you have to remember to make sure that it's on anyone can view or else we can't see it. So definitely I'd recommend YouTube because that's just easier to manage and easier for ourselves and for the judges to look at as well. And also today I was just on YouTube and I was searching up CS Girlies and I saw all the videos from our previous hackathon. So people can find your project, which is fun as well.
Yep, okay. And then also for that as well, we have a channel for people to share their projects in the server if they want to. So if you have your video submissions on private, you can also send them here and then other people can look at your projects and see what you did. Okay, can you show us how the submission code works? Is it on DevPost or GitHub? So you make your repository on GitHub and you send us a link to your repo. That's how we get to view the code. The theme of the project. So let's go ahead and open the dev post then, because that will definitely answer that question. Okay. Oh, I don't think I have screen sharing permissions. Is Jay still in here? Hmm.
I can tag Jade to check if she can help with that. I could also try to see what I can do. I honestly don't know how it works. But if not, I can also share the screen. Uh, yeah, I could start off sharing and then once Jay comes. Oh, wait, Jay's here.
She's super quick. She's got it.
There we
Okay.
go. Perfect. In the meantime, where's everybody at? What country are you guys in? I want to know what the distribution looks like. Oh, Ghana. Gina, I'm also from Ghana, so that's cool. New Zealand. Wow. Okay. Looks like we're good, M, for screen sharing. The time
Mine
bot
is
is
still
so
grayed out
weird.
for me. Um,
Oh,
Let me
maybe
check
you might
something
have
really
to
quick.
like rejoin. Wow, everybody's from everywhere. I don't think I've ever met somebody from Bahrain. That's so cool.
Hmm. Okay. I don't know. Maybe for the sake of time, you should just start streaming if you have the access, and then we can talk through it.
All
Because
right,
right now it's still
that
showing
would
that the
work.
video's grayed out.
Uh, CS Girlies. I don't think you're the only one. I feel like I've seen some other South Asian girlies, so you're not alone. Don't worry. Let me share screen.
Yeah, and then also if you haven't done your ID card yet, you
To
can
your
see people from your country there because I think we have a place on the ID card to specify. Yep, we have people from all over. Okay. Oh, she's gone. Hey, I can share my screen now. That's wacky. Okay. All right. Okay. I somehow you left and I mysteriously got it to work.
Perfect.
Thank you,
Perfect.
Jay. Okay. So we can go ahead and look through the dev post page. So as you can see here, it says that there are 48 hours from the start to the end to be able to build and submit your projects. So how to join, hopefully if you're watching the stream, you've already registered. If you haven't, make sure that you do that because that's how you actually submit your projects. So definitely do that. Um, yeah, so if you still haven't found a teammate, there might be a couple people that are still looking. At this point, it's kind of a scramble for time, so hopefully you have your team already. So we have three main tracks: automate learning, make learning fun, and building with Wolfram. And then we have two bonus tracks, which are building with Gitbook and building with Client CLI. So the schedule that we have here is all in EST. So on Discord, I believe all of the events have been translated to your user specific time zone. But if you have questions about that, you can ask. So looking at the track descriptions, the main tracks. So automate learning is going to be about using AI to make learning faster, easier, and more personal. So some examples here are note taking, feedback, quiz creation, honestly, any way that you can think to speed up the learning process or automate it with AI, that's totally allowed. The make learning fun track, which is gamifying the learning journey. So creating interactive learning experiences, storytelling based courses, challenges that make studying feel like leveling up, basically just turning learning into a game. So think about apps like Duolingo. Duolingo definitely gamifies the learning experience with features like having streaks that make it competitive, a leaderboard, things like that. Um, and the last main track is building with Wolfram. So if you don't know what Wolfram is, it's an educational company that also specializes in a lot of different math resources. So for the hackathon, you have access to Wolfram 1 to do your development, and you get an additional prize if you win the Wolfram track. And we have a judge from Wolfram to look at those projects. Okay, let me see if there's any questions about the main tracks there. Doesn't look like it yet. Okay, so now we'll go into the bonus tracks. So the first bonus track is building with Gitbook. Gitbook is a documentation tool. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And that one's going to be a cash prize. So yes, you can stack the opt-in tracks with the main tracks, and you can potentially win a couple extra prizes if you opt in for those as well. And there will be a place in the submissions area for you to specify if you are going for any of the opt-in tracks. Um, in the announcements channel in the Discord, we gave a little bit of advice on how to do documentation. And we had Tal from Get Books do a workshop yesterday, and that is posted on our YouTube if anyone has questions about that. Um, yeah, so you can only do one main track, but you can combine the opt-in tracks. Okay, and so the next bonus track that we have is building with client CLI. So CLI is command line interface. So what Client CLI does is integrating AI into the programming process. It's kind of like GitHub Copilot or Windsurf, if you've heard of those. You get free credits to use while you're building the project, and the prize for using Client CLI is also a cash prize. Okay. I'll also go into a breakdown of how we distribute the prizes. So, um, if you go solo, the entire amount of the prize money is for you. If you compete as a team and win as a team, that prize money will be distributed to your team. So, for example, if a team wins the Get Books prize and it's like a team of 5 people, each person will get $100. And if you compete solo, then that person will get all of the 500. Registered yesterday for Klein, but I still haven't gotten the 20 free credits. Um, he should be distributing those today. I can double check to make sure that those got distributed for you guys, but they were supposed to be distributed as soon as the hackathon kicked off. Are you gonna make a live presentation of the project? Yeah, so Sky answered that one. You have to make a demo video. So we'll watch your demo video and just make sure that it lines up with the code that you have in your repo. Okay.
I just wanted to add about Klein, just like M
Mhm.
said, credits will be being distributed today. We'll check in with Juan, but also we had a video workshop yesterday, like M said, for Gitbook. Wolfram has like pretty detailed guidance, but Klein CLI just came out, so we're making a video guide for you guys as well, like literally right now as I speak, to know how to use Klein CLI. And we'll share that with you as well in case it's kind of tough for you to navigate, because I know the terminal can be kind of confusing.
Yep. Okay. So now we can go ahead and walk through some of the requirements for the submissions. So your dev post submission has to include a demo video, so it has a time limit, 1 to 5 minutes. Um, like we talked about earlier, it has to be on YouTube. You can set it to private or public. Um, if you share a Google Drive link, it has to be accessible to the CS Girlies Team email. But yeah, make sure that you walk through every feature in your project. There shouldn't be any features that you don't demo. Even if you don't get it to work properly, still show it to us in the video, explain what it should be able to do. That's okay. Yes, and also talking through the why is really important because we want to know your thought process behind how you chose the project that you did. If you have like a personal connection to it, if it solves a problem that you experience personally with your education, totally share that with us. Okay, so the project description is required, what it does, what inspired it, so kind of a recap of what you talked about in your demo video, what technologies you used, and which track you're submitting to. All of these things are very important. Some of this can be answered in your README. You can also have a separate file, I believe, maybe like a Google Doc or just a text file submitted in your project. Please be sure to do this. Be qualified if you don't answer those questions there. Yeah, so you also need a public code repository. Um, yeah, so you can include files as a zip, but the repo is required and you can just submit that as a link. And it also should include basic documentation, and we've sent some resources in the Hackathon resource channel to help you guys out with that if you don't know how to structure a README file. Um, and yeah, so this is something that we got a lot of questions about. You can't clarify your teammates on dev post. You have to put it in your project submission. Okay, questions. Which is the platform you will be vibe coding on? That's honestly up to you. If you want to vibe code, just make sure that you document that you used AI to help you with the building process. Um, should documentation be end user documentation, SRS specs, or something else? So, honestly, do as much documentation as you can. Make sure that it would be documentation that you can understand from an end user's perspective, but also from a developer's perspective. So you give instructions with how to make your project work, like if you have to run a command or something like that, but also document your tools.
Just to add to
Yeah.
that as well,
Yeah. Mhm.
the GitHub documentation, Gitbook, I always mix GitHub and Gitbook. The Gitbook documentation prize is more towards user documentation, but we also want you to kind of document in the description, like Em just described, how you built the project. So essentially, if you are opting in for the Gitbook documentation prize, then you should lean towards documenting how an end user can use the application. Software requirements specs are not necessarily needed unless it's like a developer application for whatever reason. But for the README file that, like Em just mentioned, we have a guide for that. But for the README file and for the description in your submission, that's more documenting what went into building the application. So like your tech stack, the process, and all of that. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So yeah, just to go over the prizes, like the form of the prizes. So the overall winner, whether it's individual or a team, will be getting $1,000 in cash. So this is a huge jump from the prizes we were able to offer in July. We did a lot of work with sponsors this time, so we're pretty excited to be able to offer you guys prizes like this this time around. So the winners will get a 1 month VIP voucher to use Let's Defend, which is basically a cybersecurity training. So if you're making your projects, you should also know how to secure them. So we thought that this might be a good idea for you guys to bake into your projects once the hackathon is done. Um, just as like a little aside to help you get on your way to developing for the real world. And then you're also going to get $1,000 worth of Klein credits. So you get a couple credits to use during the development process, but credits are really the thing that power being able to use Klein. So you'll get a lot of access out of that. The overall runner up, so basically second place and third place, because there's two winners there, they will also receive the Let's Defend vouchers. and $250 in cash that will be split up across your team if you're working in a team. So yeah, once again, building with Klein is going to be $1,500 in cash, and we have a judge from Klein who's going to be looking at those projects. We also have prizes for best documentation, which is sponsored by Gitbook. And once again, definitely take a look at that workshop that Gitbooks hosted yesterday. That would be really helpful for you guys to use on this track. Um, and the prize for building with Wolfram, it is not a cash prize. It is access to their Wolfram 1 service. It has a pretty big retail value. So if you use Wolfram language as your programming language in the project, you'll get this prize. You'll get access to Wolfram 1 for a year. And you're also eligible for a scholarship to one of their summer programs if you win this award. Okay, seems like there's a couple more questions in the track. Um, is the made learning fun for college students or child students? Honestly, just specify who you're aiming it at. If you want to make it a project that helps like elementary school kids and middle school kids with their learning, you're totally allowed to do that. If you want to make it something practical, like if you're a college student and you want to make it to help you out, that's totally fine. Yeah, and Michelle had already answered that one. Um, will we get participation certificates? Yes. So all hackathon participants will be able to get a participation certificate at the end. We'll also have special certificates for winners. Is there anything else provided by CS Girlies as a platform other than Climb? Yes, you have access to Wolfram 1. And there are instructions for accessing that in the announcements channel. Um, For the Klein category, do we need to build our full application using Klein, or can we use Klein for a single feature? Klein, uh, Michelle, do you know the answer to that one?
We haven't necessarily specified, so you can do either. We encourage you to kind of in your description or document, like your description or your README, tell us how you used Klein. Um, I don't think it will affect your chances of the prize if you used it for singular features or if you used it for the whole application. We're judging kind of like the most impactful, innovative, useful use of Klein. So it's not necessarily how much you use Klein, but if you used Klein for something really impactful. Does that make sense?
Yep. Okay. So someone asked if they should deploy the app or not. You don't need to deploy it. If you can get it working with deploying it, that would be awesome, but it's not required. How will you guys ensure that a submitted project is built only during the 48-hour build period? What if people submit projects made beforehand? So we're checking every single repo that gets submitted. If we see that anyone has pushes or commits from before the hackathon started, that team is just going to get automatically disqualified. If I can see that you just made the repo today and you copy and pasted all of your code in, that's also going to be a disqualification. We need to see commits and pushes during the hackathon to ensure that you guys are uploading your code. Um, Obviously, we can't check every single thing, but we're going to be doing our best to make sure that there's no cheating going on. Can you make a project that fits into multiple prizes? So you can pick one main track, but you can opt to do multiple of the bonus tracks. So you can choose odd make learning fun, one of those main tracks, and then you can choose whether you want to do um, get books or Klein as a bonus. Can it be a prototype or should it be functional? You should make a functional prototype, if that makes sense. Like your prototype should work. To the best of your abilities, your prototype should work. It doesn't have to have a back end, it doesn't have to connect to a database, but if you can get your front end to work and all of your features that you wanted to implement are working, that's perfectly fine. Can I send the rules via text? The rules are on the dev post page. So if you want to see the rules, you can go there. I'm not going to be typing out like a transcript of the things we're going over, but there will be a recording. Yeah, and we'll also get a FAQ published. Mhm. Since you're in a different time zone, you missed some of the workshops. Yes, we are recording. The things that disqualify you are definitely listed on the dev post. What if you want to make a game that involves Wolfram? Um, Honestly, you should just go for the Wolfram track there if you want to make a game. So whether you take the gamified track or the Wolfram track, um, you would you would select the Wolfram track because that's the one that would make you eligible for the Wolfram prize. Um, you won't get more money for combining two of the main tracks. You're only going to get the same amount of money. I can't do voice to text. You gotta write it down, rewatch the recording, or look at the rules on DevPost. Okay, how is the judging done? Is it strictly based on the judges or is it a voting system? So we are having all the judges score your projects based on the criteria that are on the DevPost. Maybe I didn't scroll down far enough for that. Here, good. Okay. I actually forgot to go over the judging criteria, so we'll go over that as well right now. Okay, so there are 5 areas for the judges to critique. So, first is educational impact. Does your project actually help students learn better? They look for tools that make learning easier or more fun, or that could be used in real life. So, creativity. Did your team come up with something fresh, original, or unexpected? So, if you make like a mock version of Duolingo, you'll probably get a low creativity score. We're looking for things that haven't been done before, basically. Um, Technical craft and execution. Does your product and your prototype work? And did you build it thoughtfully? Smart use of tools, frameworks, APIs. So for beginners, that might be a little tricky, but as long as you work with what's in your skill set, you should be okay with this one. Um, Design and user experience. Is it easy and enjoyable to use? Does it look or feel good? Clean design, clear navigation. So you can be fun and you can be polished. Those definitely aren't two things that can only happen separately. You can make a fun project that's also clean and easy to use. Community and accessibility. Does your project make learning more inclusive or open to different kinds of people? Features that help students from different backgrounds or learning styles. Efforts to make education feel collaborative, empowering, or global. So, an example of something that you could do to make a project more accessible, adding a feature that allows you to switch languages, um, using less like jargon from your specific language so it's easier for people to understand if they're using it and they speak a different language. All of those things, just examples of what you can do. Um, do you need to pick a track? Yes, you have to pick a track. So you have to pick one of the main tracks. You don't need to pick a bonus track if you don't want to. You can use Visual Studio and Figma. Yes, those are all tools that are allowed. Can you use Flutterflow or Android Studio? Yeah, so we're not being super picky about the platform and the tech stack and the software that you use, as long as you make sure to document that clearly for us. Where do you enter the track to pick? Okay, so if you're on DevPost, let's see, maybe I need to refresh this. Hang on.
I think it will be hard for you to. Well, actually, are you going to make a submission?
I mean, maybe I can do an example one just so people see. So
Yeah.
continue. Yeah, so you go through the project overview. So you say your name, your elevator pitch. So, like a couple sentences about what you made your project to do. That will not cover the documentation. This is just for us to see at a glance what your project can do. If you want to have a thumbnail, you can. That's not required. Okay, so project details. This is a bit more detailed. What inspired you, what you learned, how you built your project, and the challenges that you faced. Um, your resources if you don't know how to format that. Yep. You also specify what languages, frameworks, platforms, APIs, all those things you used. these are the links where you have to upload your repo. You're also going to include your video demo link here if you want to also include screenshots. You can upload those in project media. Additional info will be, um, well, you actually don't really need to fill this one out. Fill out that if you want to. So this is where you choose your main track, and then this is where you opt in for the bonus tracks. Yep, and once you get to that point, you submit the project. And where you specify what team you're on, I would say put that in your project story probably. What do you think about that, Michelle?
Distracted by the client video. If you could
Oh, you're good,
remind me
sorry.
the question.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
that's
what should they specify in project story where the teammates are, or where should they specify that? Or was that in
I
the
think
oh, not
there is yeah, right there. That's where you invite your teammates.
okay, yeah. So so you only need one person in your team to do the submission as long as you
Exactly.
send the invite link to the people who are on your team.
Mhm. I
Okay.
would still recommend that, like, your teammates should be registered under the dev post hackathon thingy. Your teammates should be registered so it's easier for them to accept the invite and join the team and everything like that.
Yeah, okay.
Go for it.
So yeah, someone asked where do we enter the track that you picked? That's gonna be on the additional info part. So step number 4 when you're submitting. Okay, Client and Gitbook are not mandatory. That's why they are bonus opt-in tracks. Is it okay if we make an AR app? Honestly, that would be so cool. If you can get it to work, that would be awesome. Okay, since we only get 48 hours, how perfect and polished do you guys expect our submissions to be? Would a general idea of certain features be good, or do you recommend including things we can 100% implement in perfect working condition? Yeah, I would not say that you guys should include a README and a description that's really grandiose, but your project doesn't deliver that. Make your description practical to the features that you have working in your project. Um, they don't have to be 100% perfect, but don't include features that you could not get working at all. You can, okay, a lot of people keep asking the multiple tracks question. Maybe we'll make an announcement about that or we'll put it in the FAQ. If we commit our entire project until finishing it, would that make us disqualified knowing we started until now? Um, I would not recommend committing your entire project in one commit because that is also just bad practice. You should be committing by feature, by page, like smaller chunks of code. Like do not commit your entire project in one commit. Are we supposed to make learning projects or can we make projects that assist programmers? So the tracks are on the dev post. You should be making projects that align with the track you chose, because if you don't, you'll get a bad score. Clarifying again, can we go solo? My teammates have exams. Yes, you are totally allowed to go solo.
I
And
just wanted to
submissions.
add, sorry to interrupt you, and I just wanted to add about the committing the entire project. So we will verify whether your project followed the rules or not. Like Em said, we will check your GitHub repository. And if a project looks sus, like we think that you started before the hackathon, having just one huge commit will not help our suspicions. We don't automatically disqualify you. We reach out to you and talk to you and check with you and all of that. But apart from, like Em said, it's good practice to make multiple submissions. Also, if you have teammates, the best way to work with your teammates will be for all of you to kind of contribute and submit and commit to GitHub. I was about to say Gitbook, but apart from the fact that it's good practice, it also helps us see that you actually started the project and worked on the project during the length of the hackathon so that we are not suspicious and we don't disqualify you. So commit as much as you can. Thank you.
Yeah. We can't tell that you worked with your team if only one person makes a commit. Like that just tells us that only one person worked on the actual code. Um, and if that's what you choose, if you have one person only doing documentation or only one person doing the coding, I think that's fine. Just, it does look a little sus if you have a team of 5 and only one person does a commit, like Michelle said. Okay, more questions. I'm not sure if this question has already been answered. What are the must/to-be-used platforms? We do not have any required platforms unless you do build with Wolfram, Gitbook, or Cline. In those cases, you would use those specified technologies. Um, you judge the project based on how many members there were. Like if we have 4 members, would you expect us to do 4 times the work? Um, Honestly, that's not really part of the judging requirements because, 4 experienced members is different than 4 beginner members. So we will judge the project for what it is when it gets submitted, not by the skill or the amount of work necessarily put in by the team members. When will the results be announced? We have a schedule. Check the announcements channel for that schedule for the events. Can submissions be edited?
I would like to believe that the answer is yes. Yes, I think so. Yes. Yes, submissions can be edited. And I know this because if we have any suspicions about your submissions and we reach out to you, it's possible for you to edit and include not even suspicion. Like, let's say we're looking at your submission and we realize that you forgot to include your GitHub repository link. We'll reach out to you like, hey, you forgot that, and you'll be able to edit your submission to upload that. So, until the hackathon is over on Sunday at 12 p.m. EST. Sorry, Jay's meme is funny. Until the hackathon is over on Sunday at 12 p.m. EST, you can and will be able to edit your submission. If for whatever reason you're not able to edit your submission, you can just like ping me or any of the people who are online and we'll help you figure it out. But you should be able to. Thank you.
Still laughing at Jay. Okay, what other questions are there? I just answered the one about recording the submission process. This whole stream is going to probably be posted. Um, if not, you can just see the steps clearly at the top of the screen when you click Start Project.
I
And
want
I'll,
to
oh,
add, maybe you have said this already. Also, I'm just stepping in because you've been speaking for such a long time, and
oh,
I
you're
just want
good.
to make sure that you're not tired. But we have resources. I just saw Kanive. I probably am not pronouncing your name right, and I'm so sorry. But I just saw Kanive say, like you're new to this. We actually are super beginner friendly, so we have resources on our website. And if you already said this, I'm so sorry, I didn't hear. But we have resources on our website to help you like learn literally anything, not anything, but what you need to know for a hackathon, what you need to know about GitHub, what you need to know about programming languages, web development, mobile development, UI, UX, game development, literally everything. So here are the resources. You can check those out. Um, I definitely would recommend just kind of scanning through and getting a general idea. You don't want to use the entire length of the hackathon to learn how to, I don't know, make a really strong database or something. But getting a general idea and figuring out how to implement things is helpful, which is also why we're partnering with Client CLI, because as long as you have a good understanding, don't just use the AI blindly, please. As long as you have a good understanding, it can help you speed things up if you're more of a beginner. But all of these beautiful resources are there to help you as well.
Yep, exactly. Okay. Somebody asked, is it okay if our project isn't complete? Your submission is your submission. Your score will reflect based on how much of it you get done. So yeah, just think about that. If you need to make a simpler project to be able to get all of your features working, that's totally okay. We understand some of you guys are beginners.
I will also recommend, this is more just general hackathon practice. Um, we don't know the plan that you had for the project in these 2 days. So if you can pick one or two main features that you want to implement, and if you're able to successfully implement those, to us, it's going to look like your project is complete. In the project story section, you are totally encouraged to tell us what you would do if you had more time. But don't try to implement 10 features at once and not do any of them well. Try and focus on one main feature or one or two or three if you're a team of like five, then you have more hands. One or two main features really well. Like Em said, something simpler, but I think thinking of it in terms of features is a lot helpful as well. And then you get that done, and then you tell us that if we had more time, we would also have done this, that. Because technically, the technical strategy and technical implementation is included in judging, but we're also looking at kind of like the implementation of the idea and how impactful this idea would be, et cetera, et cetera. So pick one or two features and go with that if you want to do well.
Yeah, and so now that we've gone over pretty much everything that's on the dev post, I'll give a little bit of a breakdown about the things that we have in the server for you guys. So in the resources channel, we have a place specifically for resources for the hackathon, as well as links to all of the recordings of workshops that we did and will continue to do throughout the weekend. Um, I think you already mentioned this, but on the actual CS Girlies website, we have that repo of resources. So, how to learn specific languages for beginners, how to use specific tools. Also, Google is your best friend during a hackathon. If all else fails, just Google. Um, so, we have the Fall Hackathon announcements channel where you can get pinged if you have the Hackathon hackers role. So, you can get that from the self roles checked section of the server. Um, And we also have the general, where you should be asking all of your hackathon related questions, the fall hackathon general channel specifically. We have the ID channel, so if you want to share your little ID that we have that we made for you guys, shout out to Sky for making such a cute little ID. There's a pinned tutorial in there for you guys to watch and learn how to make those IDs. Um, At this point, you should probably have your team set up, but if you're not and you're still looking for a couple more people, we have that Make a Team channel as well. Is it mandatory to complete the IDs? No, it's just for fun. Just a cute little way for us to all get to know each other. You know, we did that for our last hackathon as well, so we thought we would do it again this time. Yep, for funsies. Um, so yes, if you need help with any hackathon related questions, just ping the mods. One of us will definitely respond to you probably within the minute because we're so excited to help you guys. Okay. What else? Should the GitHub repo have a specific name? I mean, it's good practice to name it something that's related to the hackathon. So if you want to call it hackathon project, name it after the specific track. It's up to you, but the link that we get is the link that we're going to look at. So there shouldn't be too much confusion when it comes to looking at the repos. Where would you complete the IDs? We have a channel, the Fall 2025 Share Your ID channel. Um, some mod in the chat can probably link that for you, although it should be under the Fall 25 Hackathon section. So, okay. I think that's most of what we wanted to cover. Are there any last minute questions before we start wrapping up the stream?
I just wanted to be sappy and say that I'm happy that all of you guys are here. Like Em said, we're so excited to
Yay!
help you. We are so excited to see all the cool projects that you build. You can post it on LinkedIn, you can put it on your resume, you can put it on YouTube, you can literally do whatever. Like this hackathon is 2, 3 days. But you can do so much with the project after this hackathon. And that's also why we're having a lot of these workshops on career or how to sell an app if you want to go more of the startup route. So don't just build a project for the hackathon. Follow the guidelines. Please follow the guidelines. It will
Yes,
make judging
please.
so much easier. But while you're building, think about real users, think about making something that real people can use, because that will be helpful to you after this hackathon is over, when you share it with a recruiter, when you share it on social media to tell people what you're building. You can sell it, you can go to San Francisco and become a startup founder. You can literally do whatever, so don't limit your mind to just the constraints of this hackathon, and we're here to help you do big and super big things. My vocabulary is clearly limited, but yeah. Oh yes, YC. Like I can sense somebody getting into YC after this hackathon. Like I can feel it. It's in the air.
Hype house.
Real,
Guaranteed entry to the hype house. Okay.
real.
Okay, there's still some people typing, but once people
Yeah.
stop typing, we'll probably end the stream.
Yes. I think we could probably stop sharing the dev post and we'll just like
Yep.
hang here for a bit. I'm so happy.
Yay. Good to see so many people are hyped and excited. Yes, go ahead and
Yeah.
start building. Go start building. You have
Yeah.
47 hours left.
Real. We're so excited, Smitha.
Yay.
And just echoing what Jay said, building something within a short amount of time is a huge achievement. So don't be too harsh on yourselves if you aren't able to finish it within the limited time. Enjoy the process. Make friends with your teammates, learn new skills, and just don't get disqualified, or
It's
else a brick will be
heavy on
thrown
my
at
head.
you. The brick is really heavy. It's really big. So
It's bigger than Jay.
actually. See you in 47 hours. Try to submit at least 1 hour before the time, just in case there's any complications. So
Mhm.
I'll see you in 46 hours. Because, like Em said, we're going to be really strict on that deadline. We have judges who are hungry to judge. So,
Yep. Oh, and a good way to check if your project is submitted is if it shows up in the project gallery. That's a good way to check. If you don't see it in
yeah.
the gallery and you've submitted it, just wait a couple hours if it's submitted early. If you don't see it, it's either been disqualified or not properly submitted. And you can check with us about that
Yes.
because I think that
We
happened a couple times
probably,
last time.
oh, okay, that makes sense. But for most cases, if you submit it and you wait a couple hours and it's not yet in the project gallery and it was submitted properly, we would have probably sent you an email of some sorts to tell you why we haven't yet posted your project. So it's like maybe, hi, you didn't add a GitHub link. Hi, we can't see your video. Your GitHub is sus because why was it created 10 years ago? Not the GitHub profile, the repository. So yeah, we'll let you know about anything before we go full on, which is again why I encourage you to submit at least 1 hour before so we can kind of like review and let you know to add anything before it's time for the judges to start judging. Oh, I heard about the in real life vibe coding hackathon and I wanted to go so bad, but I had school. So I'm so jealous that you're able to go. How was it? Nice. Nice. Or a smiley face
Okay.
person. I don't know what the name
APK,
is.
if APK is Android application package, then yeah,
Right.
I think that's fine.
Yeah. I don't know why you would want to make that, but if
It'll
you
be a
want
lot
to,
easier for you to do a web app.
yeah. You could also do a mobile app,
Mhm.
but yeah, up to you. Up to
Yeah.
you. Nice. Okay, good. You can totally work with what you're familiar with. Hearing that mobile is easier than web is very interesting for me.
I thought
But
that
good
would
for
be
you.
after that one. Yeah. Okay. You guys are totally free to continue discussions in the hackathon general chat, but since it seems like there's not really any more hackathon related questions, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream.
One sec. Can Jay let us know if it's good to wrap up
Oh yeah,
recording
I'm
wise?
recording.
All right, guys, I put the link
Okay.
to the general channel in the chat. So you can go there and let us know if you have any questions, memes. Follow the rules though, or else break. Um, but yes, good luck, everybody. I think we're good to end it. Bye, guys.
Bye. Good luck.